When was the last time you ordered clothes online and got to try them on before paying for them? Never, right? Well, that's exactly what jackthreads.com does. You can try on anything at home for free, ladies and gentlemen. Then you only pay for what you keep. Whether it's a big name brand or the Jack Threads in-house line, you can be sure you are 100% in love with the items you ordered before spending a cent. Real quick, clear your head. Who's the most fashionable person on Kinda Funny? That's right. No, not you, Kevin. It's clearly Tim Gettys. Tim's using the service. He's like, don't say no, Kevin. Tim orders jackets and stuff all the time offline, and he looks really good. Kevin, you wear free clothes. Choose anything you want, though, from jackthreads.com, and you can try it on at home for free. You'll have 7 days to decide if it's working for you. Jack Threads gives you everything you need to send the things back, packing tape, and prepaid shipping labels, ladies and gentlemen. So go to jackthreads.com and enter the code GREGGY when you submit your tryout for 20% off anything you keep. That's jackthreads.com, code GREGGY to save 20% on anything you keep. Never buy before you try ever again. Kevin, I've read a lot of ads. That's a really good sign-off line. Tim, what's your topic?
My topic is Mr. Fred Rogers. I want to read the first paragraph of his Wikipedia page.
All right.
Wait, this is Mr. Rogers.
This is Mr. Rogers.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know his first name was Fred.
Fred
No
McFeely Rogers.
Yeah, it is.
Keep in mind his middle name is McFeely.
Like McLevin?
Was an American television personality famous for creating, hosting, and composing the theme music for the educational preschool television series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which ran from 1968 to 2001, which featured his kind-hearted, gentle, soft-spoken personality and directness to his audience. Initially educated to be a minister, Rogers was displeased with the way television addressed children and made an effort to change this when he began to write for and perform on local Pittsburgh area shows dedicated to youth. The radio did a whole bunch of things and developed his own show eventually, and it was distributed nationwide by Eastern Educational Television Network. Over the course of 3 decades on television, Fred Rogers became an icon of American children's entertainment and education. He was also known for his advocacy of various public causes. His testimony before a lower court in favor of fair use recording of a television show to play at another time, now known as time shifting, was cited in a U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Betamax case, and he gave now famous testimony to a U.S. Senate committee advocating government funding for children's television. Rogers received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, some 40 honorary degrees, and a Peabody Award. He was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame, was recognized by 2 congressional resolutions, and was ranked number 35 among TV Guide's 50 greatest TV stars of all time. Several buildings and artworks in Pennsylvania are dedicated to his memory, and the Smithsonian Institution displays one of his trademark sweaters as a treasure of American history.
God damn.
That's a lot of distinction.
The reason that I wanted to bring him up.
You are not a fan.
I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. And I was just kind of thinking it randomly, laying in bed, Mr. Rogers comes to mind, right? I'm just like, what's up? What's up with Mr. Rogers? And I started going through it, and I'm just like, this guy is just pure awesome. Like, he is just legit. Like, he's just sounds like the best dude ever.
Would you call him the homie?
Mr. Rogers, the homie, for sure. But as I started reading the Wikipedia and really going down it, I kept asking myself, but when did he touch kids? You know, I kept asking myself.
You're waiting for the shoe to drop.
When did he kill somebody?
Right.
You know,
There's some skeleton in the closet.
You know, when did he cheat on his wife?
When did he Cosby someone?
When was the Bill Cosby thing? And it never happened.
Well, are you familiar with I'm probably getting the name wrong, but like Jimmy Savile, I think was his name, and I'm probably getting this all wrong, but I think he was
Cyndi Lauper dated.
No, that's Captain Lou Albano.
He was a children's television performer in England for decades. From what I understand, he was basically like England's Mr. Rogers and hosted all these variety shows and charity things for children and everything. And then it came out, he's dead now, I believe, that he was like a notorious over decades pedophile. And, you know, like he did, like, look at his Wikipedia page, and it's a much different picture.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Kevin's showing it to us.
Yep, there
that
it
is not a man I put alone with my children.
Yeah,
But
if you can just look at him.
With Fred McFeely Rogers.
He seemed genuine. He always seemed genuine.
He seemed genuine, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I always got, like, even when I was a kid, I'm like, this guy fucking weirds me out.
Yeah, a little bit.
I
The soft-spoken
Hey,
tones.
everyone. Like, he's trying to hypnotize you into just taking your pants off.
Yeah, he always did that, yeah.
Yeah.
I never understood. I was never a big Mr. Rogers fan.
Really?
Yeah, my mom would always put it on, and I'd look at it and be like, this is some psychotic shit. Like,
so
to me, Pee-wee's Playhouse was more on the level than than Mr. Rogers.
Well, so that's
because at least you know where he was coming from. You're like, that's a psycho motherfucker. But at least I know it. I can see.
He's letting you know he's psycho.
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Rogers
My mom would
is
like
the wolf in
not
sheep's
let go.
clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Pee-wee as well. But Pee-wee's an example, and like again, not that what he did was that bad, but it's like that. I mean, at least on the level of
the whacking off.
Yeah,
okay.
Whacking
Who
off,
hasn't jacked
pedophile,
off in a theater?
Different levels. But that's the thing is like even Pee-wee has that. Like every single time you name somebody, like there's all Bill Cosby, Bill motherfucking Cosby.
Yeah.
Kevin, here's what I want you to do. I want you because I haven't looked this
About
up all.
41.
Who's the woman from Lamb Chop? Sherry somebody other?
Shirley MacLaine?
No.
Who's Shirley MacLaine?
Sherry somebody or
Why
other.
am I thinking of
Very
Shirley
famous
MacLaine?
Shirley MacLaine is an
Shirley.
actress. Yeah.
Shelley? There's an S
In
involved.
terms of
Shelley.
endearment, Shirley MacLaine.
Shelley?
Find out
sounds
who
right.
Okay.
did Lamb Chop, and then find out if she ever did something crazy. Because I'll tell you, that is a woman I thought was fucking crazy.
Yeah, she's-
Sherry Lewis.
Sherry. There we go.
Click on Sherry Lewis and let me know if she ever did anything bad.
Was there a
Or
ham
Google
bone
Sherry
too?
Lewis scandal.
What now?
Was there a ham bone?
Yeah, there was a
that?
ham bone in
Okay.
Lamb Chop. Yeah.
Lamb chop and ham bone. Right?
Lamb chops playing along.
Put Sherry Lewis and then put serial killer.
What about the Sharon Bram and Elephant
Scandal.
Elephant
Doesn't
show.
Show? You remember the Sharon Bram, the Scanamarinky Dinky Doo?
Oh my God.
Scanamarinky Doo. I love you.
The Elephant Show.
With
Wasn't that the
Babu.
Elephant
This is
Show?
Sherry
Babu?
Bram. Wait, no. God,
Lamar.
I got Sherry on the brain now. Something Bram and Elephant Show. Maybe it's Sherry.
I remember that. Is that the one that was in a
What
mall?
are you guys talking
No,
about?
I think they went to parks and stuff. They were all over the place.
There was
Yeah.
one I remember on Nickelodeon that I can no longer remember that
Babar.
happened. No, not Babar. The
Are
elephant.
you thinking of Shop Till You Drop? The game show?
No, not
that
the game
came
show.
on after Supermarket Sweep? Because that's a solid block of programming right there.
I feel like Mr. Rogers falls into for me, the Mr. Rogers, Sherry, Mr. Wizard, Frugal Gourmet, who did turn out to touch kids. Remember, we've talked about this like several times in this show. They are all people that are like closer to like the core of Greg, like layered. There's so many things piled on top of them that I haven't thought of Mr. fucking Rogers in forever. But then you bring it up, I'm like, I do remember watching that. King Friday was a thing on it, and there was the trolley ride.
I remember he would come in every day from God knows where, probably from
Took off one sweater, put on another sweater.
He was
He
murdering
took his
children.
like sweet ass sneakers off.
Yeah,
and just put 'em
took
down.
off one pair of Vans, put on another pair of Vans, and then like put on. Yeah, you're right. He'd always put a sweater on.
Damn.
We had the sweater on already.
Sherry died of, what was that one? Scroll back down.
Uterine cancer.
Uterine cancer and viral pneumonia. That's how they get you, man.
It's a bad time.
It's like how Grandma Miller died after going to Alaska. She caught pneumonia. That's a story for another time, though. That's why I won't ever step foot in Alaska, and I will one day fight everyone there.
Jesus, got a lot of people in Alaska.
She fought off the raccoon, couldn't fight off the Alaskan
Did she
pneumonia.
chase the raccoon into Alaska?
No,
and
she didn't
then-
need to. You come on now.
It was
Grandmother.
boxed up,
Yeah, yeah.
taken care of.
That's fair enough. No one ever know, but no one knows if the raccoon escaped or not. We don't have confirmation that raccoon's dead.
It could have been rehabilitated.
It
The
could
hell
have
are you
gone
talking
after.
about?
It could have been. It could have been the revenge story for all revenge stories.
Well, I'll show you a video afterwards.
Okay,
My grandma
all right.
once put a box on a sick raccoon.
you don't need to. See the
Okay.
video.
I saw a raccoon get hit by a car today, and it was really sad because it's like
In the
at
morning?
that moment it looks like a dog, you know, and then you like feel really sad about
My
it.
favorite raccoon death story was
Here
Adam,
we go.
We were driving somewhere. Adam Brown was driving. My friend, this is in high school, right? And we've all been driving just for a little bit. None of us are expert drivers yet. Who is? We're driving, and the raccoon cuts across, and Adam Brown yells, "Oh shit!" But at no point tries to brake. Just oh shit, and you heard it like go up into the wheel well and like
Oh,
the
yeah.
car, and I was just like, you didn't even try to brake, you didn't swerve, you didn't do anything.
You can't
Did
break.
the
You gotta go
right
right
thing.
through.
He did.
the right
he did.
thing.
We did the robot, car thing. What should the car do? The car shouldn't swerve. Try to protect the raccoon.
No, fuck that.
But I mean, I just thought maybe a little bit of brake. Just constant 35 right over this raccoon.
If we're talking horrible animal death stories,
Yes, we are.
Let me bring up one from about 2 weeks ago and tell me what I should have done in this
Here we go.
situation.
Oh, fine. You did the right thing.
Okay, so there was a mouse in my apartment.
you
Usually
kill it.
around this time of year, we get mice problems and we put traps out
Sure.
and try to do it as humanely as possible. So I set up a trap in my room. Walk in there. I heard the snap. I walk in there. I was like, oh, we got one. All right, I'll have to go throw it away or whatever. It just hit like the back side of him, and he looked like he was
Paralyze
in the most pain. Like he was just,
Yep.
just freaking out, And I was like, fuck, what do I do here? Like I had no idea what to do. It's not like I'm gonna take a fucking shotgun to it or something. And so, and maybe this was a terrible idea.
Confuse your reference. Shotguns like top.
Yeah,
Top
yeah.
of what you could do. There were
If the
gradients of other
if
things.
the
you could
mouse
have
is
done.
the size of a crocodile, maybe.
Maybe take a fucking 12 gauge to his temple.
I was not trained for
Tack
this
hammer
scenario.
would have done.
Okay, so I probably made the wrong decision based on what happened, but it came from a place of wanting to honestly put this mouse out of its misery because it was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So, and keep in mind this title for a reason. I'm pretty dumb sometimes. I grabbed a can of Raid.
Oh my god.
my god.
Oh my
And
god.
I figured, like, what is the easiest way to just make sure it dies and doesn't have pain anymore?
Asphyxiating on Raid.
And so I just took the thing. It was a little tiny mouse, so I figured, like, hey, it'll kill a big spider in like 2 seconds. Mouse isn't that much bigger than a big spider, and so I just got right down there and just like right in his face, and then the thing just starts like just like freaking out, and I'm like, I can't see this. This is too sad. Hopefully this doesn't last long. So I walk out. I go.
Oh
back
my
and
God, no.
I play a game for a while,
Oh
and I'm like,
God.
so like 5 or 10 minutes later, I'm like, all right, now I'll go throw the mouse corpse away, and it's still just like,
Oh no, trust me. So I used to live in a house down in San Mateo that had rats. They weren't mice. They were rats. And so we didn't realize it until, because I used to live with Ty Root, so I just assumed Ty. You know Ty, great guy, but he's kind of scatterbrained sometimes. I just assumed we were like. We just kept finding these bags of bread that were like ripped open, and we just thought it was Ty. And so me and my other roommate Brennan would be like, "Why the fuck?" And one day I was like, we just finally brought to say, we're like, Ty, why the fuck do you keep just ripping through these things? And he goes, A, that's not me, and B, that's not even my bread. And I'm like, oh, that's right, it is your. And then we finally came to the conclusion that something was crawling up the back of the fridge and eating and like burrowing through the bread and eating it and then going back. So we assumed, we found out we had, and then all these stories of things that started replaying, like, oh shit, I remember seeing things like, I thought it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, like darting across the floor, or, you know, you'd think you would feel something crawling at you or whatever. Turns out major rat infestation in this place, right?
Oh.
Major rat infestation.
God.
So we call the exterminator out, and we're like, what can we do to get rid of these? And he goes, well, I'm like, can we just put poison packs? Because I don't really want to deal with having to pick up, like exactly what you just said, right? I don't know, because these fucking traps to kill rats like this big.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it is just catch the fucking thing, snap its back, and then it'll slowly die. If you're if at worst, best case, it snaps the neck and it dies. But I mean, it's a fucking rat, so depending on the approach vector, it's either gonna be paralyzed for life or dead in an instant.
Or really pissed and have a vendetta
really
against
pissed
you.
off. And so the guy's like, well, I can't put poison down. He's like, you don't want to put poison down with rats because they'll pick it up, carry it into the wall, share it with the rest of the rats in the wall, and they'll all die in the wall, and they'll just stink. And he goes, so you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you got to do traps. You got to just go old school traps. But what I forgot to ask him was, what the fuck do I do with the trap after it's caught the rat? Because that wouldn't have occurred to me. So we put the trap down, I'm thinking it's one rat. I'm like, we got a rat. We'll kill it. We'll man up, and we'll deal with it. Snap. And we're like, what the fuck is that, right? 3 grown men in their 20s walk out and look behind the fridge, the biggest fucking rat you've ever seen, and this trap wasn't big enough. This thing was like fucking shrimping its way out of the thing. Blood was coming out of its mouth, but it looked like it still had fight left in it.
Oh, God.
And so we're like, what do we do? And the best we could come up with was just leave. Just leave the house.
Just move.
Just come back later and when it was dead, and that's what we did. And then we had the problem of like, what do we do?
Was it dead when you came back, or
Yeah,
did
it
it
was
get
dead,
out?
and it was like looking at us like, I'm gonna fucking haunt you. And then it was like, what do we do with this? Like, how do we pick this thing up? Is it like, it's rat? It's got to have some sort of rabies or some fucking dysfunction. So we Rochambeau'd for it. I think I drew the card of like just grabbing like whatever part wasn't bloody. And the guy was like, well, you know, when you kill it, just empty out the rat, reset it, and put it back down. I'm like, no fucking way I'm doing that. So I threw the whole thing out, had the guy come back, and it was like 3 or 4 more times. Because there was just a ton of rats.
More than that. I thought
It was a
more
lot.
than
It was.
that.
I mean, it was every.
Oh no!
It became like a
Jesus.
killing field. Our like we had to set them up in strategic places, and every night it was snap. And we're like, and it got to the point where we were just desensitized to it. Thank God. But it was the worst. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Because talk about bad karma.
What did the lambs sound like,
Oh my
Clarice?
God! Having to kill I mean, it's not like killing a spider. That's a big animal. Like the thing's the size of your
They're
forearm.
huge, man.
You could keep it as a pet and like name it and like live with it for a while
Uh-huh.
until it develops cancer, which all rats do inevitably because they're just gigantic mammary glands. Apparently, my brother used to have rats. It's a very weird thing that he used to do. But that is my rat story.
Man, my rat story. Woo, I got one.
Okay.
There
At
was
some
a-
point, we do have a to be continued hanging here of a maced mouse and what he did with
right,
it.
sorry,
but no
that's
big
right.
deal. No, I want to hear
Real
you.
It wasn't mace, it was poison.
It's pepper spray.
Mine's very quick. Is when I was really young, I was probably like 6 or 7, and that means my brother was like 4 or 5.
Cool, Greg Gettys coming to patreon.com/kindafunny soon.
There was a Nutcracker animated movie that would play all the time on Disney and a bunch of other channels, and in it at some point one of the they were all little animals, and I think that the bad person was a rat.
Yeah,
king rat.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, and anyways, at some point, as like a gift, because the bad guy was a rat in the kingdom, they would bring dead rats as like gifts, and it was like a nice gift to give somebody. And so we grew up watching this damn thing, and I'll never forget.
Please
one day,
don't go where this is.
My brother walks up the stairs. And it just sounds so psyched. We were on the 3rd floor. You had to walk up like 3 levels of stairs. And he was like, I got something for you guys. I got something for you guys. He runs up and he's just holding this fucking dead rat by the tail that he found outside. And he felt like he was doing such a nice thing by giving me this dead rat. And I was like, at that moment, I'm like, I can't live with this thing. Like my brother. Like I was like, this is it. Mom, take him back.
Yeah.
We're done.
back
I'm
to
not
the
okay
store.
with this.
Take him back
What
to
the
the
fuck
KB
is your
toys.
problem? But he meant well. And now that I'm older, I realize he meant well.
Your brother's a special kind
But
of
that
boy.
thing was like half as big as he was at that point. And man, I'll never forget it. That rat, that tail, there was hair all along. It was horrible,
yeah.
man. It was
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
horrible. Man.
So you've maced this mouse.
Is it mace if it's raid?
I think so. I mean, I don't think that would kill him. Like, to me,
it's
in
probably
my
like
head
a
right
napalm.
now, you are that iconic photo of that police officer in the full riot gear doing that
just-
mace to all those
God.
college students.
I mean, I assumed it would die immediately. I assumed that this was just deadly poison, and it was point blank, like just right in his face.
Sure it was. Sure it was.
And it didn't die. And so I went and I played whatever the hell I was playing at the time, Overwatch, and came back. 10 minutes later, it's still freaking out. And I'm just feeling terrible because it looks like it's having just the worst night. And so eventually I'm like, maybe a fall will kill it. And so I took it. I'm on the 3rd floor. And
face.
I don't run an exterminating business. I don't know what the hell I'm doing
Hit
here.
it with a fucking hammer in the head.
I don't.
I mean, to be fair, Nick,
that'd
that's
be-
a little extreme.
That's what you
I'm
gotta-
with Nick
you
on
gotta
this
kill
one.
it.
I would have
That
grabbed the
probably would be
trap,
better.
taken it into the street, and then just stomped it.
Yeah, just
I don't know what else to do.
smashed its head.
Well, what I did, because we try to keep the traps so we can reuse them and everything, and I was like, okay, well, I need to keep this trap. I need to get rid of this mouse who's still just freaking out.
Sure.
And so I pick it up, and I'm just like, oh, this is the worst. I can feel it like moving around and all that. And I open up my window, and I just put it out, and I thought for a second, I just panicked, and I thought it had like scampered free and was like about to run up my forearm. And so I just dropped the whole thing, so the mouse trap and the mouse. And I was like, well, we need that mouse trap. So I go down. It's like dark at this point. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I go down there with my phone light, and it's like, it's not like a well-done backyard. There's like weeds and stuff everywhere. And I'm trying to just find this little mouse trap and not find the radiated mouse that wants to kill me now. But I didn't
Super
see it
mouse.
anywhere. So it's like the end of Halloween. It's like I know that
Michael
he
Myers
should be
disappeared.
dead, but that rat is not there. That
Not
mouse is
there.
not there. To this day, I don't know where it is.
So you didn't even drop it onto concrete. You dropped it onto grass?
There's like a little incline with concrete that would probably hurt.
This was just an ill-conceived plan from the get-go.
It really was. Looking back, I don't know what I would do. Like, would I just leave it in the thing to die?
Yeah.
You drag it
that's
out, and then you
longer.
hammer it, or you step on it. I think you got to.
Oh, step on. Yeah, I
Well,
guess
here's
I didn't
my
think of
thing.
that.
I'm a
Maybe
little shocked that
slowly-
you wanted to get the used mousetrap again.
Well, that's money. That's money.
Yeah, it's cost money.
But aren't mousetraps like cheap enough that I'm like, I wouldn't want to deal with the trauma of this. Like, just knowing it's covered in raid, I don't want to touch that.
I cleaned
That
it
is a
off.
big part.
I cleaned it
Mouse
off.
bits.
Yeah. I don't know. Got to save money.
Yeah, no, hey, all right. I guess. Man. Although I would never take a hammer to a mouse.
Yeah, see, that seems.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking forward to this.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
But
saying
None
I
of
know.
this is
I
good.
know raid's not gonna kill it.
well, none of these are good options. Like, they're all sad, horrible
Man,
things.
I mean,
but-
the fact that you're taking the life from a living creature is that there's the moral conundrum there. But I mean, if it was up to me, I'd do something kind of in the middle of all you guys, where it's
Hey.
like you just leaving it there and running out of the house.
a hammer that sprays mace.
I would either call Kevin to deal with it.
Yeah,
but
that's
that would've
100%.
And I wouldn't even know what he does. He would just take care of it. And I
What,
wouldn't
Kevin?
really
What would you have
Kevin,
done?
yeah, you're the most manly man of us. What would you have done?
So a while back, my cat, who's dead now, Forrest.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Okay,
Forrest.
No, Thomas is alive now.
so far.
Yeah. He caught like a small possum and slit its throat, but not all the way. And then it went and hid in like a little, like there was a hole in the wall and it hid there. And I was like, fuck, gotta do something with this possum that's clearly bleeding out. So I think I stuck a stick in there and it came out and I caught it in a bag. And I was like, well, I gotta do something.
Drowned
So
Did you just let Centrifugal Force take over at that point? Just pow pow right out of the.
I got a paint bucket. It was a big one, and I was like, all right. Then it
Oh,
kept
there was paint
moving.
in the bucket.
Yeah.
I thought it was like bucket side
no,
down.
For a
was a-
second, I
it
thought
was
you were
a
going to
full
say you
paint
drowned
bucket.
it in the paint bucket. I was like,
I thought he was going to go,
fucking
knowing
Christ,
how
Kevin.
Kevin's
I mean,
head
drowning
works.
might not be a bad option because I feel
Knowing
like
how
that's
Kevin's head
relatively
works,
quick.
the way I thought that one was going to go is that he took the paint bucket empty, dropped it on it to cage it, drilled a hole in the top, got a hose, connected it to his car, turned on his car,
okay,
and
yeah.
Ooh, that
euthanized
exhaust
it that
now.
way.
Didn't have that much time to kill.
That's the kind of shit you would do, though.
This all sounds so.
How did this come from Mr. Rogers?
I don't.
This is the most un-Mr. Rogers conversation.
Welcome
we just
to the
assume that
Game
Mr.
Over
Rogers
Greggy
has
show.
done this to children before. I
No.
think that's
Oh,
where-
yeah.
No. My whole reasoning for this topic, and this is an open challenge to anybody, name someone better than Mr. Rogers.
A better human being?
Because I don't think there is
with
one.
no scandal.
Because there's no scandal, there's no bullshit,
boy.
there's no drama, and he did so much good. Like, him even being gone, his show's still in syndication, still doing good.
But what does it say about us also that we're trying to look for something bad in this guy, right? Like
We've just been
see
burned
that
so many
archetype
times.
and we're just like, no, this guy's got to have a little dirt under his nails or a little boy blood under his nails. Like there's something wrong with this guy. We look at that and we just think it's wrong. That's fucked up, right?
It is, and that's why I want to put him on a pedestal and look to him.
And let the
As a
audience
goal.
knock him down.
No.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he died a long time ago.
Okay. I don't know.
really
That
sad.
long ago,
I've been following
It was
Mr.
like
Rogers'
2001.
life.
I've never heard
That is a
anyone
long time ago.
never heard anyone say anything bad about Paul Bearer.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone that
My Undertaker!
Yeah.
Yokozuna!
There we go, yeah. Everyone who
good,
ever
Greg.
worked with that guy in
Yeah.
an industry full of people that talk shit on each other.
Percy Pringle? right?
Percy Pringle, everyone loved him, yeah.
Yeah.
William Moody, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yep. Mr. Rogers, Paul Bear.
Yeah.
Name someone better, I dare you.
Somewhere in the
In the
middle.
comments below.
And I might be dating myself, but probably President Trump.